is the time to worship. Come, now is the time to give your heart. Come, just as you are to worship. Come, just as you are before your God. Come. One day every tongue will confess you are God. One day every knee will bow. Still the greatest treasure remains for those who gladly choose you now. Come, now is the time to worship. Come, now is the time to give your heart. Come, just as you are to worship. Come, just as you are before your God. Come. One day every tongue will confess you are God. One day every knee will bow. Still the greatest treasure remains for those who gladly choose you now. One day every tongue will confess you are God. One day every knee will bow. Still the greatest treasure remains for those who gladly choose you now. Come, now is the time to worship. Come, now is the time to give your heart. Come, just as you are to worship. Come, just as you are before your God. Come. Was blind, but now I and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. My chains are gone, I've been set free. My God, my Savior, has ransomed me. And like a flood, His mercy reigns, unending love, amazing grace. The Lord has promised good to me. His word my hope secures. He will my shield and portion be, as long as life endures. My chains are gone, I've been set free. My God, my Savior, has ransomed me. And like a flood, His mercy reigns, unending love, amazing grace. My chains are gone, I've been set free. My God, my Savior, has ransomed me. And like a flood, His mercy reigns, unending love, amazing grace. The earth shall soon dissolve like snow, the sun forbear to shine, but God who called me here below will be forever mine, will be forever mine. You are forever mine.
Now after the Sabbath, towards the dawn of the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to see the tomb. And behold, there was a great earthquake, for an angel of the Lord descending from heaven and came and rolled back the stone and sat on it. His appearance was like lightning, and his clothes white as snow. And for the fear of him the guards trembled and became like dead men.
The angel said to the women, "Do not be afraid, for I know what you are looking for, Jesus, who was crucified. He is not here. He is risen, just as he said. Come and see the place where he lay. Then go quickly and tell his disciples, he is risen from the dead and is going ahead of you into Galilee. There you will see him. Now I have told you."
So the woman hurried away from the tomb, afraid yet filled with joy, and ran to tell his disciples. Suddenly Jesus met them. "Greetings," he said. They came to him, clasped his feet, and worshipped him. Then Jesus said to them, "Do not be afraid. Go and tell my brothers to go to Galilee. There they will see me."
While the women were on their way, some of the guards went into the city and reported to the chief priests everything that had happened. When the chief priests had met with the elders and devised a plan, they gave the soldiers a large sum of money, telling them, "You are to say his disciples came during the night and stole him away while we were asleep. If this report gets to the governor, we will satisfy him and keep you out of trouble." So the soldiers took the money and did as they were instructed. And this story has been widely circulated among the Jews to this very day.
Then the 11 disciples went to Galilee, to the mountain where Jesus had told them to go. When they saw him, they worshipped him, but some doubted. Then Jesus came to them and said, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me.
Therefore, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. And surely I am with you always to the very end of the age."
Please bow your head as I pray. Lord, it has certainly been an eventful year. Our lives have been turned upside down through the pandemic for over a year. Every day we are navigating through uncharted territory, but we know that through all of this you have a perfect plan for each of our lives. Please let the sermon today speak to our hearts. Let us learn about your story and how truly wonderful you are for giving your life for us, and help us to learn what we need to make it a great Easter, despite all of the circumstances and challenges we face this year. In your heavenly name, amen.
Hello, everyone. Happy Easter. I would like to personally thank you for watching our sunrise service. I am Samantha Hall. I will be your pastor for today, and I would like to talk to you guys today about love. Now, we all know love, and it's a 4-letter word. It goes by many names, and it has acclaimed numerous songs and movies over the years. It's practically famous. But God's the one who really made it famous. His love is unlike perfect love stories that you'd get out of a rom-com or a Hallmark movie. It's deeper and more powerful and more penetrating. It's not love at first sight. It's not romantic love. It is an unconditional love. And it comes to us in many, many forms. And one of these forms was his son, Jesus, the very person we are celebrating the resurrection of today. He sent his son to be a human example of his love and a sacrifice. How far is God willing to go in his love for us? Is there ever a time that he's going to become bored of us and forsake us when we sin? And that's what we're going to answer today. And the answer is far deeper than a simple yes or no. But before we dive in, it's important to note that God's love isn't something that can be analyzed. It's not something that can be labeled, and there's really no definitive answer to any of its questions. However, the small bit of it that we do understand, the small bit of it that we can comprehend, we can only hope to dive further into it. So, questions will be unanswered in this, I have to warn you. But even still, I hope you find a comfort in what I'm going to share, and I hope you can be at peace with the wondering. Now, God's love is unselfish, and why would it be selfish? He's displayed that there is so much he would give up on our behalf, including his son. Imagine giving up your only child and watching them die for an entire world. It's a horrible thought, and not even I could process the weight it would have on a parent. But it's what God did. He sent his son to us to die for us. He offered up his child for a world he could have chosen not to save. A world riddled with sin and shame and things that people deemed unforgivable. That's what makes his love so great. He decided that we, as the morally messed up people that we could be, we deserved him. We deserved him so much he made himself available to each of us. And that's truly what I want to talk to you about today. How available he is to us in his love. Now, before I really go further into this, me, Vanessa, and Natalie Brown created a skit. And this skit really, I believe, hits home what I'm going to talk about. So I'm going to take a brief pause and let you watch it, and I will come back and we'll discuss it. So, prior to my continuing, here's the skit.
Hey! Give me back my toy!
You've had it all day. It's my turn.
I'm still playing with it. Give it!
It's my turn.
What is going on over here?
She pushed me.
Did not!
Did too.
Did not!
Did too.
Enough! Why did you push Sam?
I didn't! She tried to steal my toy! She is the meanie!
And did you take the toy from Vanessa?
Maybe.
See, you're both at fault. Did either one of you even think how the other one was feeling? You're sisters. You need to be there for each other. Now, what would you do if you saw her getting picked on?
Help her.
And if Sam was upset, what would you do?
Try to make her feel better.
You need to be there for each other when the other is upset. Right? So now what do you say to each other?
I'm sorry.
Or,
I'm sorry for stealing your toy.
and Vanessa.
I'm sorry for pushing you, even though I didn't and you fell on your own.
Vanessa, that's not a proper apology. Please try again.
I'm sorry for fighting you for the toy.
It's okay.
Good. Now we gotta be leaving in 15 minutes, so keep playing.
Oh, hey Natalie.
Hey!
So in class today we were talking about colleges. Have you picked yours out yet?
Honestly, I have no clue which college I want to go to.
Oh, well, it never hurts to be prepared. I picked a few out that I think I'm going to visit. I even think I know what major I want to go for, too.
How do you already know what you want to do? Like, I don't even know what I want to do. I'm gonna be honest, I'm really stressed. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. But I'm sure you'll figure something out. You always do. I gotta get to class.
Well, we'll see you in class. Bye.
See ya.
See ya. I'm really stressed out about college applications.
What about?
I just don't know what I want to do in life.
It's alright. You can change your major mid-semester if you want to. It'll be okay.
I don't even know what college I want to go to.
It's alright. I'm sure we can figure it out on time.
Well, I'm behind already. Sam has already picked out her major in college that she wants to go to, and she knows what she wants to do for a living.
Well, some people have a good idea of what they want to do early on, and some people take longer to figure it out. You're not behind. You're just trying to make sure you're picking the right thing.
I never thought of it that way. I guess I jumped to the conclusion that I wasn't where everyone else was.
Anytime. I'm your mother. I'm supposed to help you with these kinds of things. Go and finish your homework, and after dinner we can do some research on colleges. Sound good?
That sounds great, Mom. Thank you. So, how have you been? College seems to have treated you well. If I remember correctly, that's always the way you liked your coffees.
Well, time has not changed a thing. You've got the memory of an elephant. Thank you. I've been doing okay. Could be better, I'm afraid.
What's up? You seem super happy on the phone.
It's nothing serious. How have you been?
I see time hasn't changed you either. Still deflecting questions because you know you'll get me talking about something else. But I've been good. I found a solid job and I started next week. It's kind of why I invited you out with me. I wanted to see if you found a job yet.
No, I haven't. I've been looking, but I haven't had much luck thus far.
Oh, well, keep trying. Knowing you, once you find something, you'll ace the interviews and be off in no time. And if you'd like, I can check in and see if they have any openings up your alley at my new place.
You don't have to do that.
Yet, you know I will. Ooh, I have to get going. It was good seeing you again.
Yeah, you too.
Hey, Mom.
Hi, honey. How's the job search coming?
I'm still looking. Natalie said she was going to see if her job in any openings, but I haven't heard anything from her since we last talked. I was trying to think this is hopeless.
It isn't hopeless, I promise. It took me some time to find a good job, but once I did, I took off running.
Mom, I'm not you.
You're right, you aren't. But I'm sure Natalie didn't forget you. How about you give her a call?
You know I don't like starting conversations.
So, if you really want this, you have to step out of your comfort zone. Now, I gotta go. I have dinner in the oven. Love you.
Love you too. Bye, Mom.
Vanessa, I was just getting ready to call you. I talked to my boss, and she told me, well, we do have openings for people like you. In fact, they really need someone like you.
Wait, really?
Yeah, well, luck, am I right? I'll send you an application.
That would be so great. Thank you so much.
Don't mention it. After all, what is that for? I'm always gonna have your back.
So, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the skit. So as you may have picked up on, the skit was separated into 3 distinct parts. One with little kids, one with high schoolers, and one with post-college adults. Each of these parts consisted of these kids and their parents, the role of their parents in their lives. These parents intervened with their child's struggles at varying levels, gradually stepping back and letting their kids live their own lives. And this is how God impacts our lives. The first part was 2 little kids fighting, and their mother intervened when the time called for it. Typically, little kids will rely very heavily on a parent to step in, especially when they get into the all too familiar sibling feuds. I am no stranger to those, so they are something lots of parents have to intervene with. Now, it's also true of us. We sometimes get into spots in our lives that are messy, and they're confrontations or situations that we can't quite handle alone. But sometimes in these situations, we make rash decisions and get ourselves into trouble because we think we can get through it without help. For example, the little kid played by me wanted the toy from Vanessa, and Vanessa would not give it to her. So she decided to take matters into her own hands and try to take it herself. Now, as you all saw, that did not end very well, and it ended up in tears. But that's when the parents stepped in. Sometimes, most regrettably, the sort of situations we think we can handle on our own that we can't are the situations in which we lose sight of God the most. Now, what they don't realize is it's the exact opposite. God will rush in and take our hand and seek to guide us through these. And the only reason that they're losing sight of Him is because they chose to be blinded by their desire to get through things on their own. In these moments, God is the parent to the little kids. We are the little kids. And no matter what vicious tug-of-war game we get into, and no matter how many tears are shed, He will be there to kiss the boo-boos and pick you up off the ground, then send you back to play. Send you back to your life. A better life, one before this situation, one bettered by this situation, because you let Him help you. For as long as you suffer a dire situation, He will be your comfort. He will make your enemies and your evils apologize to you because He loves you that much. Now, the second part depicted a high schooler struggling over the future, since it seems everyone else knows what to do with their lives. But the mother in this case is a strong, motivating woman who has a talk with her child to ease the anxiety a bit. Now, stress is another instance where God will be there. We've all experienced stress. No one can say they haven't. School stress, work stress, vacation stress, future stress, all kinds of stress. Unfortunately, it is the one uniting force we wish we didn't have to deal with. But one positive thing accompanies our stress: the assurance of God's aid. The thing about this scenario, though, is we should ask for help. We should want His help. Once again, sometimes we believe we can do everything on our own, but the bitter truth is we can't. And it's our job to acknowledge our stresses and bring them to God. When we ask, He will gladly guide you through it. The teenager went to her mother and she sat down and she said, "Mom, I'm stressed about school. I'm stressed about college applications. Everyone knows what they want to do, but I don't." And that's when the mother stepped in and was like, "Okay, I'll help you. We can look for colleges. We can get through this. You're not behind. You're right where you should be." And that's what we need. He will assure you and motivate you the way the mother in the skit did. He loves so greatly that not even our ugly stress can beat Him. And finally, the final part is two friends fresh out of college and heading into the workforce. Now, this is a very stressful time in someone's life because it's the beginning of a career. Not just jobs you may have had over the summer to get money for college. No, this is something different. This is what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life. You want to make sure you're making the right decision, finding the right place, and finding a place that will accept you for what you can provide. One found a solid job, and the other feels like her search has gone hopelessly off the rails. In this one, the parent isn't as present as the two parts before. This doesn't mean that God leaves us. It's just a symbol that sometimes He steps back. If there's a worldly solution, He wants us to look for it. He wants us to exercise that independence that might not have been as helpful in the first two scenarios. He also wants us to know that He is available to us too. He will nudge us in the right direction if we desperately need it. But there are times He will step back and leave your life in your hands. Now, He'll leave your choices to be your own, and the outcome will be up to you. But you'll also have to face the consequences. In the scenario in the skit, the consequences were good. Natalie helped Vanessa find a job, and Vanessa finally took a step of confidence and reached out to Natalie herself when she told her mother that she's not someone who likes to start conversations. I've been there. I know what that feels like. He loves you enough to give you your moral freedom, while also trying to stay near so He can be your crutch should something go wrong. Overall, God is a parent, not only to Jesus, but to all of us. He's a parent who takes the role He needs to in our lives when different circumstances come to light. A parent that wants his kids to trust Him. Our jobs as His children are to love Him as He loves us, to lean on Him when we need Him, to trust Him with our lives, and to live knowing that He will never, ever leave us. He made that promise to us when He sent His true Son, Jesus, to die for all His worldly children, for us. Never will we have to worry that we are alone because we are surrounded by our Father's love, and that is more comforting than anything we could ever possibly dream of. I hope the skit really showed what I mean with this, and I really hope that you embrace God's love, His fatherly, unconditional love for you and for everyone around you. We are all connected through the love of God, and so I just want to take a moment and think about that, to think about how much God loves us. He sacrificed His Son for us, and now He is the parent that we need, the parent that we all have been looking for, the one who has our back through everything, no matter what. That is God's love. That is who God is. And that is a beautiful thing.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost,